In the heart of an ancient city, where the whispers of history resonated through cobblestone streets and towering marble columns, there lived a man named Lucius. Lucius was not an ordinary man. He was an architect, not of buildings, but of the self. His journey was one of constant struggle and relentless pursuit of wisdom, guided by the principles of Stoicism. Chapter 1. The Foundation. Lucius's journey began in his early years when he first encountered the teachings of the Stoics. He was a young man, full of dreams and aspirations, yet he felt a profound sense of unease within himself. He yearned for a life of meaning, a life that transcended the superficial desires of the world. Stoicism, with its emphasis on virtue, wisdom, and self-control, resonated deeply with Lucius. It was as if he had discovered a treasure map leading to the inner citadel of his own being. He knew that building this fortress of the mind would be his life's work. Chapter 2. Laying the bricks. Lucius embarked on his journey with unshakable resolve. He began by studying the Stoic texts of Epictetus, Seneca, and Marcus Aurelius. Their words became the bricks with which he constructed his philosophical foundation. He learned to distinguish between what was within his control and what was beyond it, a crucial insight that would serve as the cornerstone of his inner citadel. As he delved deeper into Stoicism, Lucius faced his first major challenge: the onslaught of external temptations. The allure of wealth, fame, and sensual pleasures beckoned to him like sirens, promising a life of momentary gratification. But Lucius remained steadfast, reminding himself that these external rewards were fleeting, mere distractions on his path to inner peace. Chapter 3. The Pillars of Virtue. With the foundation laid, Lucius turned his attention to the construction of the pillars of virtue. Stoicism taught him that the path to a virtuous life lay in developing wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. These virtues were not mere abstractions, they were the load-bearing pillars of his inner citadel. Wisdom was the first pillar he diligently carved. Lucius immersed himself in the study of philosophy, seeking to understand the nature of the self and the world. He embraced the Stoic practice of contemplation, reflecting on his actions and their alignment with his values. Courage came next. Lucius realized that true courage was not the absence of fear, but the ability to act virtuously despite fear's presence. He faced his fears head-on, whether it was the fear of rejection or the fear of failure. Each confrontation with fear fortified his inner citadel. Justice, the third pillar, demanded that Lucius treat others with fairness and empathy. He resolved to live in harmony with his fellow citizens, recognizing their shared humanity. His commitment to justice led him to volunteer at a local shelter, where he witnessed the struggles of the less fortunate and gained a deeper appreciation for the privileges he enjoyed. Temperance, the final pillar, required mastering his desires and appetites. Lucius knew that indulging in excess would weaken the walls of his inner citadel. He practiced self-discipline in all aspects of his life, from his eating habits to his spending choices. He found solace in the simple pleasures of a modest existence. Chapter 4. Weathering the Storms. As Lucius continued to build his inner citadel, he encountered storms of adversity. Life, in its capriciousness, threw challenges his way that tested the strength of his philosophical foundation. The first storm came in the form of a personal tragedy, a loss that shook him to his core. In his grief, Lucius turned to his Stoic teachings for solace. He reminded himself that while he could not control the circumstances of life, he could control his response to them. He found strength in the Stoic notion that adversity was an opportunity for growth and resilience. The second storm arrived in the shape of professional setbacks. Lucius had dedicated himself to his architectural career, but success remained elusive. Despite his best efforts, his designs were rejected and his ambitions were thwarted. In the face of these setbacks, Lucius channeled his inner Stoic. He remembered that his worth was not determined by external accolades, but by the integrity of his character. He continued to work diligently, finding joy in the creative process itself rather than in the fruits of his labor. Chapter 5. The Inner Sanctuary. With each passing year, Lucius's inner citadel grew stronger and more impervious to external forces. He had become a Stoic sage in his own right, a master architect of the self. His inner sanctuary was a place of tranquility and serenity, a refuge from the chaos of the world. But Lucius was not content to keep this sanctuary for himself. He felt a calling to share the wisdom of Stoicism with others. He began holding weekly gatherings where he discussed Stoic principles and guided those seeking inner peace. His teachings resonated with many, and a community of like-minded individuals formed around him. Together, they strengthened their inner citadels and supported one another on their philosophical journeys. Chapter 6. Legacy. As the years passed, Lucius grew old and frail, but his spirit remained unbroken. He had achieved a profound sense of contentment, knowing that he had lived a life in accordance with his values and principles. His legacy was not in the buildings he had designed, but in the lives he had touched and the wisdom he had shared. On his deathbed, surrounded by friends and disciples, Lucius imparted his final wisdom. The true architect of the self never stops building, for the work of self-improvement is never complete. It is a lifelong endeavor, a journey of continuous refinement. With those words, Lucius closed his eyes for the last time, leaving behind a legacy of Stoic wisdom that would endure for generations to come. Epilogue: The Eternal Citadel. Lucius's story serves as a testament to the power of Stoicism in the pursuit of a meaningful and virtuous life. His journey was marked by struggles and challenges, but it was also defined by resilience and unwavering commitment to his philosophical principles. In a world often consumed by external ambitions and fleeting pleasures, Lucius's inner citadel stood as a symbol of the enduring strength that comes from within. It reminds us that, no matter the storms of life, we have the power to build our own fortress of wisdom, virtue, and inner peace. A citadel that can withstand the test of time and leave a lasting legacy for generations to come.